Good morning, my beautiful friends. So, we're still talking about hope, and boy, do I have a story for you. So, I try to stay filled with light and love and hope, but I don't get it right every day. I don't get it right every day. And as much as I champion hope and I champion light and I champion love, I too become hopeless. So, on around October 18th, one of our cats got out. We have 4 cats. They're all rescues, and 2 of them were previously feral. So my son left open the basement door, and one of the feral cats got out, and his name is Remington, also called Poopy, also called Remy, also called Boober, also called Kitty Cat. Many names for this cat. And his picture was the cover of the video. So uh, Poopy got out, and and he's gotten out before, and it's very hard to get him back because he doesn't really like to be petted or held at all. He'll scratch, and he's super fast. So he doesn't eat people food. He isn't lured in or tricked in by any of the conventional means to lure in a cat. So we have cat traps. We did all the things, and we couldn't get him. But I posted on our local site for our town, and put everybody on alert. And every day, people were sending me ring cam footage of our cat in their yard or on their porch, and so we knew he was okay. I mean, he's chipped and he's neutered and he's has his shots and everything. So I knew he had good defense mechanisms, but we just couldn't get him. We couldn't. Every time we would have a lead, it would like dry up, and then we wouldn't know where he was. So that was in October, on the full moon in October, whatever that was, right before that. So I was joking that he had to go to the mothership to get refreshment, right? So I thought maybe he'd be back. He'd be out for Halloween and then he'd come back. But November came and no Poopy. And then no more, footage was being sent, and nobody was seeing him. And I live at the base of a mountain, and we have fox here, and I started to worry that he hadn't made it, that something got him, a car or a fox. Then I lost hope, and I would look, I would try to drive around, but he sleeps during the day. He's a night cat, so he doesn't have great eyesight. So I would try to look for him, but it was just getting less and less hope. And I was hoping it maybe would snow, because then I could see like paw prints for different places I thought he might be, but none of that. So I just said, well, I've done the best I could by him, and I don't think he hated it here. He just he has a wandering spirit. He was feral, and he wants to be back in the world. And so I gave up hope. I did. I gave up hope. So yesterday morning, I get a text from a neighbor who knows me through the community site, and she said, "Is this your cat?" and sent me the picture that I have as the cover today. I'll put it up here too. And I said, "Oh yes, that is my cat, and that is his favorite pose, looking around a corner, staring at you." And I was like, "That's so exciting." So he was 1 block over, but 2 blocks up across our main street here in Palmerton. And I said, "Well, I'll come up after work, and if it's okay, I'll set a trap. I'll put it on your porch," because she said that he had been going from porch to porch up there, probably looking for food. So I said, "I'll come up after work and I'll put a trap down." And so I went about my day, and thought, well, I put traps out in other people's yards, and in fact, we had a trap on our front porch, and he was standing next to it when Dave opened the door one morning and screamed his name, and then the cat went running. He's really too smart for traps, but okay, but we'll try our best. So around 10:05, I get a text from the woman that says, "He's on the porch right now." I'm like, so I, get Dave, and we go, and Dave can't hear, so I'm like trying to explain to him, but he's A, not hearing, and B, not listening. So we go up, and the woman, a younger woman with 3 boys, probably about like 8 to 10 years old. They're all helping. So there's Poopy, who had been cornered on the porch. He was under a giant evergreen tree, and you couldn't get behind the tree, but it was in somebody's front yard. Now, I live in a very small mountain town. Everybody's packing heat here, so I'm like, oh God, here I go. I'm going to get shot just looking for this stupid cat. So I'm on the ground in the freezing cold, and I'm calling his name. And he starts talking to me. He has this little meow where he talks, and he's telling me a story. And I'm like, Poopy, it's time to come home. It's very cold. There's food and treats and catnip. And I'm talking to him, and he's talking back. But he's under this tree, and I can't get him. So Dave comes over, and he's on the side of the tree, and I have a boy stationed at the other end of the tree so that he can't run the other way. And Dave almost gets him out to sniff his hand, because I'm like what do they call it? The spare human. Like Dave and my son Dee are like the humans for this cat, but I'm like the spare human. So I thought, well, he'll go to Dave before I come out for me. So Dave almost had him out, and then one of the kids made a noise, and he ran back under, and you couldn't get him. So finally he came out, but he ran so fast and under a porch that Dave couldn't grab him. And then there was 7 connected porches, because it's like a row home thing, but all the porches were, connected. So I had a boy stationed at one end, and I'm stationed at the other, and there was like lattice work in the front. So we're using our phones to see if we can see him, and he's in there, and I could get him. Dave ran home and got the treats and got him, and I could get him to come if it was quiet. If the boys wouldn't talk, it was quiet enough, he would come to the edge of the porch side that I was on, and he would let me scratch him and pet him and stuff, which he never ever lets me do. And he like booped my hand and like was booping my, wanting rubs and stuff. So I knew that he knew who we were and that he was happy to see us. But I think we don't have small children, and I think the children were freaking him out. So if he would hear a noise, if the boys would make a noise, he would jet right back under the porch. And we did this for an hour in the freezing cold. So I think the mom realized that the kids were making the noise, and that was, it was scaring him. So she sent the boys back to her porch. And so it was just me, her, and Dave. So she was at one end, Dave was in the middle, and I was at the other end with the treats. And I was just sitting there, and I started to cry because we had been out there. I was cold. I'm too old to be laying on concrete, calling a cat. I had given up hope, and I'm like, we're not going to get this cat. Like, he's just not going to come out. And I said a prayer, to Jesus and to St. Bridget and to Mary. And like that, in that instant, Dave grabbed the cat, and we're running toward the car. And he doesn't like to be held at all. He'll try to claw your face off. Most times he didn't try to claw anybody's face off. He went in the car. I mean, he was like singing the songs of his people, but he wasn't trying to like get out of the car or scratching up the car or anything. He was very calm and docile, and we didn't know what we were going to do when we got home, because one of the other feral cat that we have, they don't get along, and it was his time to be out. So like one of us had to run in and like get Dash up in his room and into my office so that we could let Poopy out. God, it was like quite an ordeal. But I thought, wow, what a great lesson in hope, that I needed, right? I had given up all hope on this cat, of finding him, and then all hope of actually catching him, even if we found him, just, because he is, he was a feral cat, so he behaves like one. And God and Jesus and Mary and Bridget were like, we're going to teach you a little something that you need to learn. And now he's home. He's up with David, my son David, who's his favorite human. He hasn't come down. The cats that he liked went up to see him, and they booped noses, and then Poopy was like, I'm not in the mood to be with you. So he's just been upstairs and resting and sleeping and eating, and just he's lost a lot of weight, but he seems okay. So what a lesson in hope. And as we're thinking about hope this week, sometimes you just have to sit and pray. Like that was the thing that worked. I could try to lure him out from under that porch all I wanted, but what it took was praying and asking for help from our spirit team, right? So whether you're Christian or not, or Christian, you believe in saints, or, believe in your higher self or whatever, sometimes you just have to sit and pray or meditate or ask the spirit world or ask your higher self. You just have to ask for help. We need help sometimes when things feel hopeless. I thought, what an amazing lesson to learn. And so that's the story of Remington, who is now home. So I'm wishing you all the best in light and love and hope. Be well. Take care. Bye-bye.